Welcome. My name is Kendall Pearson.
And I'm Jace Hodge. Last night's vice presidential showdown proved to be a more traditional debate than the mudslinging of recent past. Ohio Senator J.D. Vance and Governor Tim Walz facing off in New York City for a fast-paced and at times fiery policy-driven debate. Brian Abel brings us the highlights from New York.
The running mates taking center stage for the only vice presidential debate, quickly addressing foreign policy following Iran's attack on Israel just hours earlier.
It's those that were closest to Donald Trump that understand how dangerous he is when the world is this dangerous.
For people to fear the United States, you needed peace through strength. They needed to recognize that if they got out of line, the United States global leadership would put stability and peace back in the world.
Democratic Governor Tim Walz and Republican Senator J.D. Vance clashing on immigration.
Donald Trump had 4 years. He had 4 years to do this, and he promised you, America, how easy it would be.
And the economy.
If Kamala Harris has such great plans for how to address middle-class problems, then she ought to do them now. Not when asking for a promotion, but in the job the American people gave her 3.5 years ago.
Walz struggling when confronted about his claim of being present for the deadly Tiananmen Square protest.
All I said on this was I got there that summer and misspoke.
And Vance deflecting when asked about Trump's false claims that he won the 2020 election.
He is still saying he didn't lose the election. I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
In New York, Brian Abel reporting.
And in more pressing matters, 18-year-old Michaela Sue Bauman was found dead after a shooting Sunday evening in Beech Grove. IMPD officers were called to the corner of River Ridge around 9 p.m. Police say Bauman suffered from injuries consistent with gunshot wounds. The Beech Grove Police Department reported that a 15-year-old male was arrested for his alleged role in the shooting. There have been no other arrests at this time, but we will keep you updated on this story.
And we have an update in the ongoing Delphi murder trial. The prosecution in the Delphi murders is objecting to allowing the jury to see the crime scene where police found the bodies of Abby Williams and Libby German. Richard Allen's defense team made the request for the jury to walk the trail from the Freedom Bridge to the Monon High Bridge to view where investigators say the girls were abducted. The defense wants the jury to see where prosecutors claim Mr. Allen parked his car on the day of the murders. Judge Frances Skull said she will have the jury make that decision.
Power restoration efforts are ongoing in Indianapolis after the remnants of Hurricane Helene knocked electricity for 97,000 AES Indiana customers. By Sunday evening, 91% of affected customers had power restored, but more than 10,000 remain without electricity. AES Indiana expected the full restoration yesterday and has 94 crews working around the clock to address the remaining outages. At one point, the company faced over 2,000 repair jobs due to the storm's damage. AES Indiana plans to keep all crews in Indianapolis until power is fully restored before sending help to other states impacted by Hurricane Helene.
And it's not just power outages here in Indianapolis. We have been experiencing some of these effects of Hurricane Helene. With our ever-changing weather, meteorologist Tayden McCauley up next.
We'll leave it to our actual athletes. Watch Uindytv's live sports broadcast on GLVCSN and YouTube.
The first time I went to Lucas Oil was last year for the 6A Center Grove versus Carroll State High School football game. And I walk in this time thinking I know what's going on, thinking I know what's going to happen. And if I were to say that Lucas Oil lost any effect on you, just the pure vastness that it hits you when you walk in, I'd be wrong. And Jace put it perfectly. He walked in and said, wow. This is the dream, and it is, because the people that we look up to listen to a high school football game of the week on WICR HD3 UND Radio.
Hello, I'm your meteorologist Tayden McCauley, and we'll be looking at today's weather with beautiful weather starting at 5 p.m. currently 75 degrees and sunny. We finally get a break off of that spotty showers and gusty winds, and today we got beautiful weather. And then tonight it's going to get into the upper 69 weather, and then this weekend it's going to be beautiful. So if you got plans, I would definitely recommend doing something because it's going to be beautiful. I mean, Friday it's going to be 77 with a low of 51. It's going to get a little chilly, but I wouldn't worry about it because it's going to be nice. Saturday, 77 again with a low of 52, sunny skies. Sunday, 79 with a low of 59. Monday to start off the week, 70 and a low of 50, but it's going to be sunny, so I wouldn't worry about it. It's going to be beautiful. And that's all I have for weather, and kick it back to Kendall and Jace.
Good morning, Greyhounds, and welcome back to your Wednesday show. We have some very exciting things to talk about with our very special guest.
So what do you find unique about UIndy, and what kind of pulled you here?
What are you doing?
Watching Good Morning Greyhounds every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m.
A 19-year-old man convicted in the fatal shootings of 3 young men found dead along a path in Indianapolis was sentenced to 189 years in prison. A jury convicted Caden Smith on 3 counts of murder and other charges, including robbery and dangerous possession of a firearm. Smith was 16 when a police officer found 3 men shot dead on the south side of Indianapolis. Investigators learned Smith had taken the victims to the area where they were shot to demonstrate a gun conversion device known as a Glock switch that can make a semi-automatic weapon fire like a machine gun. As to why the murders took place is still unknown. Smith has now been charged as an adult.
A Connorsville man has been arrested for shooting at a vehicle resulting in a crash. 18-year-old Luke Reves was arrested after officers responded to a call of shots fired in Roberts Park Friday night. According to the teenage victims, they were attempting to flee from the shooter when shots were fired at their vehicle, resulting in the crash. None of the juveniles inside the car sustained any injuries, and investigators later found 3 bullet holes from a 9mm handgun in the car. Reves is now facing charges for attempted murder, criminal recklessness, possession of a stolen firearm, and unlawful carrying of a handgun.
A Jackson County man has been arrested for practicing dentistry at his residence without proper licensing inside a Seymour trailer park. Freddie Felipe Pascual was taken into police custody on Saturday for practicing without a license and criminal recklessness. Officers for the Seymour Police Department responded to a medical call that resulted in an investigation of the residence in the Village Green Mobile Home Park. Officers found dental tools, medications, and rogue dental instruments after obtaining a search warrant for the home. Felipe Pascual was arrested in March for the same charges and is currently being held in the Jackson County Jail during this active investigation.
A southern Indiana traffic stop results in the arrest of an Ohio murder suspect. Indiana State Police near Du Bois County were made aware to be on the lookout for Alejandro Ramos traveling in a beige Toyota Corolla on I-64. The Du Bois County Sheriff officers spotted Ramos' vehicle at a gas station in the town of Fernand. Police stood near the vehicle and spotted Ramos walking out of the gas station bathroom. Ramos was then arrested and transported to the Du Bois County Jail. Up next, meteorologist Tatum McCauley with updates on storm damages caused by Hurricane Helene.
Good morning, Greyhounds, and welcome back to your Wednesday show. We have some very exciting things to talk about with our very special guest.
So what do you find unique about UIndy, and what kind of pulled you here?
What are you doing?
Watching Good Morning Greyhounds every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m.
As we continue to see the damage Hurricane Helene has caused, leaving people stranded without shelter and in need of rescue. The hurricane has caused at least 175 deaths with massive destruction across the U.S. Southeast, leaving millions without power. Hurricane Helene started in Florida's Big Bend region as a Category 4 hurricane late Thursday night, casting winds with 140 miles per hour. From there, it moved through Georgia quickly before moving to the Carolinas and Tennessee with rains sending creeks and rivers over banks and draining dams. We will have more information on Hurricane Helene later in the show. More news with anchors Kendall and Jace after this break. Stay tuned.
In the heart of Indianapolis, our main mission is to keep you informed, bringing you local and national news. With the upcoming presidential election, there is no better time than now to tune in. But the most important part is you. This is Uindytv News.
A few more questions have been answered about the upcoming Indigo Purple Line. The new transit line will extend 15 miles from Indianapolis to Lawrence. The route will run from Capitol Avenue over to Meridian Street and up to 38th Street before heading up Post Road in Fort Bend and Ivy Tech. On Monday, Indigo hosted a Q&A event at the Fort Bend Library. The Purple Line will start operations on October 11th and is expected to create strong infrastructure across one of the most traveled routes in the Indianapolis area.
Indiana native Richard Goodall brings home the $1 million prize after winning America's Got Talent. Before America's Got Talent, Richard was well known as the singing janitor at West Vigo Middle School in Terre Haute. One of the members of Terre Haute's mayor's office gave him the keys to the city. Goodall spoke in front of a large crowd, and many cheered for his big accomplishment. Goodall spent time with students and teachers in the district as some sang "Don't Stop Believing," which is the song he got the Golden Buzzer for. "We're really just waiting to see what happens after the show, any offers that come our way," Goodall said. "We've spotted our eye on a house in Terre Haute, and then the sky's the limit after the show." Goodall is truly an inspiration to many to chase their dreams.
A Powerball ticket that is worth $50,000 that was purchased in April will expire on Thursday. According to Hoosier Lottery, this ticket was purchased from a Rensselaer smoke shop located on the 400 block of South College Avenue on April 6th. The winning ticket must be claimed by 4:30 p.m. Thursday. If you are the winner, you must head to the Hoosier Lottery Prize Payment Office located at 1302 North Meridian Street in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis is gearing up for a unique Halloween celebration, one that caters to children with sensory sensitivities. The Junior League of Indianapolis and Awesome Indy are coming together for their second sensory-friendly Trunk or Treat event next month. This free event will take place on Sunday, October 27th from 2 to 4 p.m. at Garfield Park. Families can expect festive-themed trunks, games, and plenty of candy, all in an environment specially designed for kids who may find traditional trick-or-treating overwhelming. This event provides a supportive environment for children with autism who may need a little extra time picking out candy, enjoying the decorations, and processing all the lights, smells, and noises of the season.
This Hispanic Heritage Month, a group of Indianapolis-based artists are showcasing their work. The organization seeks to recognize the contributions of Latinas to the local art scene and to empower, mentor, and promote their work. The event will take place tomorrow, October 4th, and Saturday, October 5th at the Lost Dog Gallery from 6 to 9 p.m.
And that's not all in art this weekend. The Monument Circle Art Fair is taking place downtown on Saturday afternoon. If you're looking for great art, food trucks, and music.
If I didn't have to work, I would probably be going to that. But unfortunately, I have to work.
Yeah, I believe I do too. I'm not too sure, but.
Well, I'm really excited about this next event that's happening this weekend. There's so much to do in Indy this weekend, but one of my personal favorites, Indy Vintage Market, is coming back to Indianapolis for the third time. The Indiana Vintage Market will be taking place on Saturday, October 5th at Northside Events and Social Club in Indianapolis, Indiana. You can shop with over 30 vendors selling primarily vintage clothing, as well as other vintage items such as vintage home goods, vinyl records, and more. Due to capacity restrictions at this venue, tickets for this event needed to be pre-purchased online to guarantee your spot. Early bird admission starts at 11 a.m. and is only $10. General admission is $5 starting at noon and going until 4 p.m. If there are any leftover tickets, they will be sold at the door. I am so excited for the Vintage Festival this weekend. I love vintage sweatshirts. I'm not really a big vinyl person, but I love clothes, and I love cheap clothes.
I'm not a huge vintage person myself, but I mean, 30 vendors, it would be a great time to go to. Plenty of things, different things to find, maybe some new clothing and whatnot. It'd be a phenomenal time to go.
You just like to rep your NFL teams.
You
don't really care about vintage clothing.
You're right.
What if it was like a vintage NFL team, like jersey or something?
Then I might have to.
I bet that's expensive.
I bet something's there. if I had to guess.
We should go check it out.
Maybe.
Just kidding.
Well, thank you for joining us here on Uindytv News.
Tune in next week at 6 p.m. to Uindytv on YouTube and Xfinity Channel 1096 for your weekly news update.
As always, have a good night.
And be safe, Indy.